paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
Well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
God, I need to record. I'm gonna lore mog Corbin so hard. Like, so when they say universes within, what universe are they within, Corbin? Is it the one that we're in, the material world, or is it the one in which there is wizards and magic and Jaya Ballard died for our sins and like
Same thing.
Which universe do you think we are, Corbin?
Well, that's... We live in the world in which we choose to live in.
That's not a reply.
I think that...
What universe are we beyond when Leonardo da Vinci is involved? Is Leonardo da Vinci...
That's what I'm saying. It's a universe within.
No, it's not. The universe
Because we're
they're
within
referring to being
magic.
within is the magic universe. Everything outside of the magic universe. Everything outside of Richard Garfield's designs.
So you're saying if they do a crossover with the movie Twisters and it's set here in Oklahoma, it would still be a universes beyond?
Yes.
Yes, because it's beyond the universe of magic, the Gathering. It's beyond
Correct.
Dominia.
Corbin hates it when you Corbin him.
What about the Omen Paths?
The Omen Paths are simply the ley lines that connect the different multiverses.
Those
the
are
different
universes
planes of the
within.
multiverse.
What about the
Omen
Weird
Paths
Keys?
are universes within.
I was mixing my fandoms, I think.
Okay. Imagine, if you will, Corbin, the highway system of America, right?
Oh.
Robert Moses' most dastardly design. Imagine, if you will, that. Okay, that is the magic universe. The city of the state of Oklahoma and the city... Where do you live, Corbin? What's your home address?
Okay, DJ.
Okay. Wherever your home address is, that is a plane. That is an encapsulated world in the world of Magic the Gathering. Leonardo da Vinci is in a different universe beyond the universe that you're in. It's like a different plane of existence. Like shift over like 1 degree.
Yeah, he died like 500 years ago. Is that what you
For
mean?
our sins.
Is that what you mean?
Literally,
He's
Da
passed
Vinci is a
on
Christ-like
to
figure. That's why he does like the Vitruvian Man thing, where he's kind of like on the crucifix, but like there's like multiple arms because he's like a double Jesus situation.
Because it's a multiverse.
Now we're getting into Spider-Man, though, with the multiple arms.
Right.
Da Vinci is Spider-Man.
Do
Okay,
you know
I
what
think I
Alfred
understand
Molina's film debut is, by the way?
No.
Alfred
It's
Molina's
Jason
film
Alexander.
debut was in Raiders of the Lost Ark. He was the guy at the beginning with Indy on like the initial opening sequence.
Oh.
He was 28.
Oh, I just
That's
looked him
crazy.
up. I know that guy. That is crazy.
Yeah, he played Doc Ock.
He's Doc Ock. Yeah, that's my boy.
He's also really big in musical theater. He's dope. We're
Doc
a big
Ock
Alfred
has
Molina
the-
fan.
Doc Ock has the best character arc of any character in any of the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I think I
agree.
just said that off the top of my head, but I think it's true. Better than Goblin.
Willem was great and all, but like...
Goblin just is what it is, right? It's just one note Goblin.
Worst character.
There's no the redemption for Doc Ock was amazing, and as someone who doesn't read comics, had no idea that was coming in No Way Home. That was very cool. Big fan. All right, well, welcome into Brainstorm Brewery, everybody. We were learning a lot today. That's how I would put it. Some of it we don't want to know. DJ and Liz, they tell me things I don't want to know, but I'm paid to be here, so I learned these things. Welcome in,
You're
everyone.
getting paid?
Oh, well.
Corbin gets
Jig
paid in Splinter Frights and expired B-Dubs coupons.
Nice.
I think the B-dubs made me sick last night. All I know is I ate B-dubs, and then I got a migraine and started throwing up. So some people might say bad luck. Some people might say correlation. But some people might say causation. So we'll find
Some
out when I
people-
eat the leftovers. And if it
Some
happens
people might say that
again.
you'd be more sick if you hadn't eaten the B-dubs.
We'll find out when I eat the leftovers is a crazy sentence there, by the way.
You gotta eat the leftovers. Dude, it can't be wasteful.
You
Like,
can feed them to the kid.
What if it wasn't?
That's what you have kids for.
That's true.
Guinea pig the kids. That's what we need more of in Magic the Gathering. Guinea pig the kids. Well, welcome in, everyone, to the show. We're going to talk a little bit about Magic. There was a spotlight event in London, which was pretty cool. Let me try to pull this top 8 up here for you all. Let me read this to you because this is a top 8 for a standard format that it's now May. And that means going back to the World Championship in December. We're on a full 6 months of one of the best standard formats I've seen ever. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. Like, I'm not saying it's top 5 all time or what, blah, blah, blah. But the amount of this deck is good this week, but not in 2 weeks, but maybe again in 6 weeks that we've had in this format is incredible. Like, it just has been everything I think they could have asked for from it. With that said, the top 8 in London was Temur Omniscience, not a deck we saw at the PT. Mono Green Landfall, which remember is a deck they played a Pro Tour without finding. The very first Pro Tour this year, Mono Green Landfall existed, but no one found it. Pro teams did not find Mono Green Landfall for that event. It came out like 2 weeks after the Pro Tour. And now look at it, right? Last week's Pro Tour Landfall came back in the form of Green White after people thought, is it? Was all over the place. Now here we have an Is It deck in the top 8. Is It Opus, which is an entirely different archetype based around different cards in blue-red. Then Mardu Discard, which was a breakout deck from the PT that one team played and team main phase, as a matter of fact, and did pretty decent with it. Well, that top 8'd. Nathan Goldberg, shout out. Liz may shout out Goldberg a little more as a native, but Nathan Goldberg back on the Pro Tour, traveled to London to try and get a spot back on the PT, does it, top 8 with Celestia Rhythm. Then in Is It Prowess, then in Azorius Momo, the little blue-white discount your flyers deck, and then Is It Fling, a completely different list coming out of Alexander McIsaac, making your creatures big and then quite literally flinging them at your opponent.
Was Alexander McIsaac the one who won the Baltimore Spotlight with Callous Sellsword?
Yes. Or at least top 8'd.
That's a fella committed to flinging.
Yeah, nice call, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're right. He did, in fact. Yes, he won the spotlight in
Baltimore.
I covered that.
The Spider-Man one.
There you go. Congrats to him. Winning this event was Cone de Vos, a Dutch player playing Azorius Momo, beating Stanley Franks on Mardu Discard in the finals. No Is It to be found in the finals there. This standard format's just sweet. That's all there is to it. I don't even know if there's a financial takeaway, but this standard format rocks.
I mean, I think the financial takeaway kind of comes in the fact that whenever there's a standard format, standard is steady and people are interested in owning playsets of the cards. I feel, less bad as a GameStar owner not acquiring standard inventory was always sort of fraught with the fact that this is it's going to change too quickly, nothing's going to be valuable by the time you actually get it online and sell it. But as there's 3 standard seasons a year now, I feel way better about not having to pay dimes on standard dual lands that are $2
and standard lasting for a year longer.
Exactly. Yeah, the cards just have more staying power.
It does help, and I'm not going to get too deep into 2-year standard versus 3-year standard versus. Remember when they tried 6-month standard, or rotation every 6 months? That ended so fast.
That's bad.
That destroyed play numbers. How fast they reverse course on that, because they learned that while vocal online players will tell you that they want more churn, more blah blah blah, keep us interested. It's kind of a content creator argument from people who are forced to be plugged into the scene every week, and therefore after 3 weeks of it feel like it's time for something different. But for a player who goes out to the store once a week to play some standard, you actually need things to last a little longer than that. And the fact that we're in this 6-month period now where you can still play Is It Lessons and still do well at top 8 of the PT. If you committed to that deck 6 months ago, you haven't had the deck get power creeped. You haven't had it get banned out from under you. Like, we may actually finally be entering sort of the period of standard, the kind of standard they want us to live in.
Right. I will also say it's one of those things where I'm feeling it for the first time in my career. where I am playing an RC at the end of this month, and I just texted my friend who's way more plugged in. I'm like, hey, what cards from Strixhaven should I own if I'm going to play X deck at this RC? And I just had him tell me. Like, I just outsourced it.
Flow state.
Yeah, I mean, I already got
there.
flow states for Legacy, but I was like, do I need to own Color Storm Stallion? Apparently that's a card I need to own.
That card is silly. Yeah.
It's just, it's
silly.
cool when things are stable because I can just outsource that to someone who's been working on it twice as long as me.
Yeah, I had and to your point about inventory, I had like 6 Badger Mole Cubs in the store at one point last week, and Badger Mole Cub. Do what?
That ain't gonna last.
Well, yeah, but Badger Mole Cub costs $50 or whatever. It's almost 60 at the moment. And I was buying them all when they're $50, $60, and there is a question of, is this going to get banned? Is that the world? Like, is this just going to get banned in 2 months and I'm going to be sitting on a bunch of Badger Mole Cubs to go to $10? But it seems like that's not the case. And regardless, someone came in and bought them last week because they're putting together their standard mono green landfall deck. So, paper standard selling Badger Mole Cubs for me.
I'm actually going to pull up the chart for VV. Right now, VVTCG low is $26, and the all-time high for VV was like 40-ish, 50-ish. I've called it 40-ish.
Yep.
The card's fully basically recovered from where it was when it got banned.
And Card Green was paying $25 while TCG low is $26.
Right. I think Badger Mole Cup does not become a $10 card if it does get banned, which I don't think it needs to be clear. It's just cards have enough demand in enough different places these days. It's not just standard. It's not just Commander.
Well, that's a good point. And to that point, I actually was doing commentary at the NRG Championship Series last weekend, and we saw Badger Mole Cub in Modern, and we saw Is It Prowess in Legacy. Just full on Is It Prowess. Like Storm Chaser's talent, the works, flow states. It was wild. It got rolled, but
yeah, flow state's a hell of a card.
Yeah, the deck they got crushed though. They got, it was some beautiful Legacy play. It was like double stifle your fetch lands, force of will, your force of will. Both of us like while keeping Daze mana open. Now you're off 2 lands. I'm gonna wasteland you next turn. And like the Is It Prowess deck could just never, the Is It Prowess deck cast Quarry Steel Cutter on turn 2 and got 1 trigger off of it the entire match. Like
it was probably on like a 1 mana spell plus Mishra's Bauble turn.
It was it was like 1 game they got 1 token out of it and then had no cards in hand. And it was just kind of sweet to see that deck get put through the grinder there of you can't cast spells actually. Even though your whole deck is 1 mana spells, you can't really cast spells. Great stuff.
Legacy, when it gets reduced to small games, is really interesting, but it's also cool when the format can experience big games.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case right now. I think you can play big decks in Legacy. I think Uro is good right now, which is a testament to where I think the format is.
All right, this is going to sound weird, but the way you put that with big games and little games is something I think about sometimes. Secrets of Strixhaven Limited is actually like an incredible example of that. Because you have obviously normal limited games where you're crashing 3-1s into 2-1s and blah, blah. But I had a game the other day on Arena where I cast Red Paradigm, improvisational capstone, where you get cards off the top of your deck. And then my opponent casts Return the Favor, the red instant that copies a spell. So they copied my Red Paradigm. So then the rest of the game, we both were Red Paradigming every turn.
That's dope.
I won that game because I had more 4 costs in my deck. So their Boros deck ran out of cards before my Izzet deck did. And that was just an incredible... I had a different game in that draft where my red capstone was going off against their black capstone every turn. And obviously that cycle of Mythics is just busted. But at the pre-release, I had a game where my opponent went red capstone into Armageddon on me, right? Like, you just have these cube-like games you can get in Strixhaven Limited. And then obviously 85% of your games are your normal, 2-2s into 3-1s.
Yeah, one of the really big things that I think Wizards has done well with limited lately is every limited format is pretty traditional limited, and then there is still aspirational stuff.
Yeah.
One of my friends who notably top-aided Pro Tour Edge of Eternities was talking about how he got to do the deal 100 damage to a creature card with the Requiem monument that says that this creature has dealt damage,
Yeah.
do that much to its controller, I think is what the effect is. He was talking about like aspirational combos in the limited format where you use 2 rares plus 20 mana to win the game, because that's just a thing that you can do in limited, and it's not even bad.
Yeah. And it's like
But also,
you can
Knucklehead,
cast-
Nickel and Dime limited works too, right?
you can cast Cruel Ultimatum and you
Right.
can open Cruel Ultimatum in OTJ, and it is an incredibly reasonable thing to build your deck around. Yeah.
And I think a good limited format contains both facets, right?
Yes, yeah. And also, and this is maybe the thing that, and I actually am scheduling an interview in the future with Wizards to dive deeper into this idea. But sort of the classic example is the Slitherblade deck for Mom and Ket that Christian Calcano developed that just used all the last pick cards in the draft that no one wanted. And it turned out that if you just had enough of them and had all of them, you could turn a pretty broken little... And Wizards didn't see that draft archetype coming. They didn't make it. They just... It just happened, right? It just happened naturally and added a whole new wrinkle to that format. Strixhaven is actually somewhat similar, where because of the mystical archives, you can do some stuff. So, for instance, bulk up, where you're doubling a creature's power, is been played alongside like an actual archetype that multiple people went 3-0 with at the Pro Tour was bulk up monstrous rage. Artist Tackler or whatever it's called, the 4-drop Trampler in red because it has trample, right? Or you find the other card that'll give trample to one of your creatures.
Somebody got berserked at the PT and it was awesome.
Yeah, like that stuff is great. And it's just so cool that this came up as a secondary draft strategy at the Pro Tour that I don't know. I don't think Wizards designed that. I don't think they meant their bonus sheet bulk up and bonus sheet monstrous rages to develop a combo deck in limited, but that's what it did. I mean, maybe they did, or I think maybe it'll happen, but it wasn't meant to be the strategy, you know? Like it wasn't meant to be play red white aggro. That wasn't the archetype for the red white, you know?
I think you might underestimate how many people in play design really love Infect as a deck.
Well, yeah, you say I guess what I'm maybe trying to say is not so much that they didn't create it on purpose, but that it goes counter to what the red-white deck, the Lorehold deck, is doing, right? It's like, it's not the thing you're quote-unquote supposed to be doing in the format.
Right.
Which is awesome, because it enables a whole new... All of a sudden, if you're building the deck that's looking for the cards that come 8th to 10th, everyone has, once that becomes a part of the format, that changes everything about how everyone is drafting. I
mean, I recently got to recount to a newer, and by newer, I mean they started in 2017, a newer Magic player about the Sliver Kids, where Jacob Van Lunen and who was the other one?
Chris Lockman.
Chris Lockman determined that Virulent Sliver was the best card in Future Sight Two-Headed Giant draft. A very niche Pro Tour format. I also was recounting the time that Sam Black and Carmen Clemperens broke MH1 draft for the Grand Prix, and I believe that their pick order for the set was Arkham's Astrolabe above every single other card in the format, followed by some mythics.
Love it. Jacob Van Lunen, guest emeritus of this podcast, by the way.
Ooh, guest emeritus.
Yeah, JVL and I used to do coverage together for a number of years. I love that guy.
I remember reading the JVL budget deck articles on the mothership.
Mm-hmm. I was at dinner with him one time, and this guy came up to us. And at the time, Jake wasn't doing much content or anything. And so he thought the guy was going to come up and talk to me. He was obviously a fan or whatever. He thought he was going to come up and talk to me. And all of a sudden he goes, Jake, your Elves article on the mothership in 2003 changed my life.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Magic is a special game. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I think that speaking of games, it's time for Breaking Bulk.
Breaking Bulk time.
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that, Corbin.
It's time to break some bulk.
I saw the opportunity.
We're getting real funky with it. This is a breaking bulk of the week that kind of breaks all the rules, but I'm a rebel. It's fine. I have a big score green card. I believe they're all technically mythics, so.
They are all technically mythics.
Astral Cornucopia.
Ah, good one, DJ.
It's not Astral Cornucopia.
That is the only one that...
Is that the name of the... Is it something Cornucopia?
It's Ancient Cornucopia.
There you
Sure.
go.
Card has had a nice little jump in price recently. It's a part of the new green black deck and standard, and the card was already $1 too, but it is a card I pull out of bulk. It is a card that is like $7 now.
Yeah, no, that one's
because big score does not exist.
So this is a card. It is a 3-mana green artifact. Whenever you cast a spell that is 1 or more colors, you may gain a life for each of that spell's colors. Do this only once per turn, and it's a mana rock. So it's just a little bit of a workhorse of a mana rock that gains some life every turn. Pristine Talisman in the corner, crying, screaming, throwing up. Did not know it was $7. I always pull this card because I always think it's $1 million.
Yep.
Just because it looks
People
like it should be.
It's like when I'm buying at a show and I see a Chromatic Lantern, I'm just like, oh, sick, a $10 bill.
Yeah.
I still think that when I see Chromatic Lantern.
Yes, it's like $3 now, right? It's actually
not
maybe
even.
less.
It's like basically bulk now, but
I think I had a moment the other day where I was pricing some out and I just basically looked at him and said, I refuse to sell this at this price, and I think I put it in the $2 or $3 binder instead.
Yeah, the most recent printing of Chromatic Lantern has a TCG low price of 68 cents.
Jesus. Okay. Actually,
my
I want to...
bulk has an even lower price than 68 cents. It is a Dominaria United blue uncommon that has no reprints.
Military strategy?
No, I think that's 2015 core set.
No, it's like a 1-mana enchantment that gives the creature ward and like curiosity.
I will give it to you because I also got the name of your card wrong, but still guessed it. So you got the name wrong, but I will give it to you. It is Combat Research.
Combat Research. Military strategy, combat research. I get it.
It is, like Liz said, it is curiosity plus. You put it on your Niv Mizzet in Commander, and it does the thing, but then it makes it harder for them to kill it. If the creature's legendary, it gets +1/+1 in Ward 1. And yeah, Card Kingdom will pay you 45 cents a piece for 126 copies. Cool Stuff will pay you a nickel a piece. Don't sell them to Cool Stuff.
What set is this from?
Dominaria United, also known as DMU.
DMU, baby.
So it's the kind of cards you list on TCG at like $1.50.
Yep. I broke a lot of DMU Jumpstart. It was plus EV to do for a while, and I had a lot of copies of this card because it was in the blue deck. Both versions
DMU has those beautiful stained glass lands.
Yep.
Yes.
They're very cool.
It was really, really good to crack DMU Jumpstart when I was getting $1.25 to $2 per on each of those lands.
Yeah. All right. I've got a Doctor Who gold uncommon for you all.
Okay.
And I just want to point out that Doctor Who as a set popping off. Like, people wondered, myself included, because I opened up several collector boxes of this set. And I was like, I lost money on every one of these boxes by I lost like $100 on every box, right? Like, this sucks. Mm-hmm. And now Sonic Screwdriver is like $5 or whatever. These sets have really sort of, like Lord of the Rings did this as well, where I opened up collector boxes of that, missed on like a bunch of the cards were just bulk, and then all of those cards became $5 a year later. But anyway, this is a gold uncommon from Doctor Who.
I don't think I'm going to get this one.
Dinosaurs on a Spaceship is the green card. Or no, it's the red-white card. That one's a rare.
Displaced Dinosaurs is the green one.
Right. It's going to come to me. Is it a blue-green time counters card? Is it from the Temur deck?
No, I don't think you'll get this.
I also broke out a lot of this set, so that's why I'm trying to think. Like,
it is a 9-cent buy list, and it's a very expensive foil. But
you're not going to get me. I'm not going to get it. Then you win.
Yeah, the card is bigger on the inside.
Sure.
Should have got that one.
The important thing here, well, I did wonder if DJ might just start shouting phrases from Doctor Who, in which case he would have gotten it.
I am the Doctor Who expert.
Blimey.
You're the guy who just shouts words at cards, and in this case it would have gotten you there. It actually spiked up to $1. This card did a little ways back. It's when I noticed it. It's gone back down a little bit, but 9-cent buy list. It's a $4 foil though, which is probably the more important thing to note. And a very expensive Surge foil.
This is a 5-mana Gruul enchantment that targets an artifact or land. Enchanted permanent has tap, target player adds 2 mana of any one color. The next spell they cast this turn has Cascade.
It's a group hug / strong card. It's either. I think
you just put it on your.
This is cool.
You can deflecting swat this.
Yeah, I think in most Doctor Who, for those who don't know, was made to be a commander first. What was the
like a battle box kind of thing vibes? Like you play the 4 precons against each other.
Yeah, basically. And it was plane chase. This was the big deal for Doctor because it had all these time traveling mechanics in it. So you did a lot of suspending. Interesting set. Bigger on the inside, expensive foil. Pretty good to put on your land and just give all your spells Cascade.
Right. I'm developing a combo in my brain with this card. Can you put it on
something that'll untap when you do a thing?
You put it on Honor Worn Shaku.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
And cascade into Legends. We're cooking. Or
does that work?
Relic of Legends.
Oh, it does work. It does work.
Yeah.
You can play it on turn 4 with the Honor Worn Shaku.
Oh, does not work with Relic of Legends. Relic of Legends was the other way.
The Legends, yeah.
So if you're wondering how to find the price of Relic of Legends or Bigger on the Inside, or whatever other stupid cards Corbin tends to pick, you can go to mtgban.com. MTGban, that is MTGBAN, is a wonderful little data aggregate tool that I use all the time. I used it constantly during Vegas to buy collections. It lets you pull data sources from Scryfall and gives you a whole price list of TCG Player, Card Kingdom, Star City, cool stuff. It splits into like TCG Direct profitabilities, TCG's SYP profitability. It gives you all the buy list data for every condition. It gives you a lot of flexibility on searching your syntaxes. So you can just search for like revised dual lands. You can just search for fetch lands. You can just search for onslaught foil fetch lands. You can just search for collector numbers for non-foil cards from Champions like Kamigawa from like 48 through 79. You can do whatever you want. It pulls all the data. I've had people bring up like foil sets of New Phyrexia and they're like, hey, can I get a price on this? Somebody else had to take 30 minutes to look up every card and I just go boop, 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 and then give them a number. Very, very cool. Very awesome. Also, did you know foil Geosurge from New Phyrexia is like $50? That is like the third most expensive uncommon in New Phyrexia behind Mental Misstep and Noxious Revival is Geosurge. Yeah, there's a breaking bulk for you.
Interesting.
But yeah, mtgban.com is our sponsor. We use it all the time for our BSB data, and we used it many, many times. At least Liz and I used it many, many times in our personal life. Corbin's learning to use it. He's got some training wheels to go. But yeah, it also has a Discord server where there's lots of other vendors and knowledgeable people in the industry you can talk to. And they just received a facelift with the new UI. So there's a new UI on Band. You can go check it out. It's smoother, a little more easy to parse for people like Corbin, for the Corbins of the world. And yeah, if you use promo code BSB50, that will give you 50% off your first month. And you also get a week free with a Patreon trial. So you can just go on Patreon, get a week free from Patreon itself. And then if you're like, oh, this is great, I should use this, then you use our code and save some money.
Big fan of the ban.
Okay, I have a game for you all. A game. I'm
good at
I don't remember what we call this game though. I don't think this is Pick of the Peak. I could be wrong though. This is a game where you'll have to let us know in the YouTube comments, everybody. But this is where I give you all a cycle of cards, and you try to put them in order of most to least expensive.
Sure. Classic.
This is fun. In the past, we do it with things like triomes or fetch lands, etc., that kind of thing. This is a good one, I think. We really hit you all in your weak spot, or at least DJ's.
Newer cards?
The 5 paradigms from Secrets of Strixhaven.
So I only know 2 of them.
I think the red one's the most expensive.
I'm going to say red is number 1, black is number 2. I think...
I could not tell you what the blue one does.
Or the white
which
one.
makes me think it's bulk.
So let's say red, black, green, blue, white.
Red, black, green, blue, white. DJ?
Red, black. I'm going to go red, black, white, green, blue.
Okay, so for those who don't know, improvisation capstone, or whatever it's called, improvisation is the red one. That's number 1. It's $19. Number 2, I'll give you all. This is a pick-em, I guess. Germination and Decorum. That's green and black. They're actually both around the same price, $10 to $11. So either one gets you credit there. The black one target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life.
I had the black one in my pre-release.
Yeah, Germination. The green one, target player puts 2 counters on each creature they control. It's actually unbeatable and limited. After that, it's a big leap down. The white one is next. It's $5, Restoration Seminar. And this one I think is cool. It's just 7 mana, return target non-land permanent from your graveyard to play. Every turn. Pretty good. Echo Casting is the blue one. Echo Casting Symposium. I'm not a fan that they didn't name these consistently, by the way, for the cycle. But Echo Casting Symposium is about $4. It's a target player creates a token that's a copy of target creature you control.
None of these being true bulk a month after the set releases is a big green flag for Strixhaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much
is
people
lit.
love Strixhaven.
All right. Do they, or do they love that we had 2 Universes Beyond sets in a row and this is not that?
Does it matter?
I think
I don't know. It
people
matters
love
because
Strixhaven.
it matters if Strixhaven is the one-off or if Strixhaven is a sign of things to come with, say, Reality Fracture.
Well, if you look at Strixhaven next to the fact that like every Magic card in Magic has spiked 300% in the past 4 months, like I think it's pretty clear that like Magic is just booming and people love Strixhaven, and Strixhaven is just like the herald of bringing like, oh cool, we got 1 million new players from Universes Beyond. Oh cool,
Yep.
those returning players happen to like personality charts and astrology, and Strixhaven is an astrology set. Like that's just
Well, and
it's
they
peanut butter and jelly.
they allowed you to cast Ancestral Recall. I think that matters for getting boomers.
Demonic
in a
Tutor
little bit.
and Replenish
Yeah.
and
they specifically worded these cards in a way where you're not activating an ability that gives you a copy of that effect. They actually worded it such that you cast these spells. You genuinely get to cast Ancestral Recall.
I did just use ban to look at every non-foil mythic in Secrets of Strixhaven. The most budget mythic in the set is the Dawning Archaic at market price $2.62. I still would not call that a bulk mythic. Withering
Bulk
Curse,
mythics.
similar, $3. Emeritus of Conflict, $3. Emeritus of Truth, $4. And then you have Echoing Symposium. So like, the set's got juice. If you pull a mythic rare, you are not losing money unless you bought a collector booster box, really. I mean, maybe if you paid like $8 pack, get a mythic, and then you get like really bad uncommons and stuff like
Packs
that.
are
but,
like $6, but yeah.
Yeah, but like you're not really like, oh, I opened a full dud. Like there are no just Comet Storms or just Tree of Redemption style just garbage.
You want to hear a funny story about Comet Storm? Actually worth money.
I believe
Really?
that. I know that's right.
It's-
That card rules.
It's $4. It has spiked in the past 2 months.
That's
It's
crazy.
one of
Oh,
the
so it's
coolest fireballs.
Every version of it is now $4+.
its most recent reprint was 6 years ago.
Yes. I found one the other day, and I did this exact. I was sorting through like a binder or something, pulling, picking it for what's bulk, what's not, and I did the exact same thing. I was like, "Fucking Comet Storm! You remember this shit? You remember what it was like to open a Comet Storm in Modern Masters 2015 as your mythic, and just feel like you just like got shit on And now
So
it's like a $5
speaking
card.
of Comet Storms, here's a little nugget of advice for anybody who is opening an LGS or has an LGS or has the ear of somebody who does run one. You should always offer prizes for opening the worst card in a set. Like if you open a Comet Storm, you should get a free pack. That is like an incentive that makes you money because people will buy more packs knowing that the worst option is unavailable to them. Like there is no way to lose the ultra like, oops, I opened a Comet Storm, LOL. Like if you open a Comet Storm or whatever the 2-cent memed bad card in the set is, as long as it's mythic, I think you should be able to like trade it in for a free pack. That is a very good business model choice of like just.
I don't know how many packs that ultimately sells, but I think that's a pretty free idea.
It's charming at the very least, and making your game store charming is valuable.
I think I might implement that. I agree with on that note, like you used the word charm there. Like I think that matters, right? Like it does matter to have like personality at your store. You know, like
some of my least favorite game stores I've ever been to were too tidy and efficient. Like I want them to be clean, but like there needs to be a little bit of the I'm in a game store and I'm in a fun place vibe. Like you should feel like you're in a toy store.
I think sterile is the word you're looking for.
Sterile, yeah. Too sterile.
Adroit.
Is that is that a word?
Nope, it is not. It is a word, but it's not the right word.
It was not a very adroit use of the word adroit, I'll tell you that.
No, it was not.
More time has passed between World Wake and Modern Masters 15 than Commander Legends and now, I think. Or it's like a very similar amount of time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
World Wake? What a set.
What a beautiful set.
Do you remember the first time you saw Avenger of Zendikar?
Yeah.
That's so much sense. Do you remember the first time you saw Leatherback Baloth? A 4/5? It's like Wooly Thoktar, but monocolor.
Not being unsure of what Eldrazi were with Ayavugan.
I remember being at the Rise of the Eldrazi pre-release, and there was somebody there who had a bunch of Ayavugans who was trying to hawk them for like $70 each.
Just a guy in the middle of the Sahara selling plastic water bottles, like
ahead of their time. Before we get into pick of the week here, I want to take a note of something we found out while we were looking for all of our breaking bulks and picks of the week and all of those things. Picks of the peaks. That's not what that game is called, right?
Pick of the Peak is the one where I give you 4 cards. You have to guess which one's not bulk.
That's what I thought.
And they're all they're all 4 cards that feel like they should not be bulk. Like Scourge of the Throne is the card that inspired the game of this is a bulk rare, LOL.
Sure. I think the game where we stack rank the cycle should just be called like the price is all right.
Ooh, I like that.
That's pretty good. Well, for all I know, I'm just asking. I don't know if we'd already named that game. For all we know, there's a great name out there we forgot, and our listeners can let us know.
It's somewhere in the YouTube comments.
Yeah, so go to youtube.com/Brainstorm Brewery. Lorehead. Sander Vanderzee shout out. You become the ultimate BSB lorehead. You get shout outs forever. I don't know if Sander even still listens, but Sander Vanderzee was the lore keeper.
In the Discord, which we have a Discord that you can access for as little as $1 a month.
Patreon.com/BSB. Where you'll find us talking about this. This is something we noticed. And I'm just going to put this information out there and then not speculate further. While looking at cards that have gone up this week, because every week I do that for TCG Player, I noticed a ton, and I've been noticing it over the last couple weeks, months, perhaps even. Cards going from bulk, say, 12 cents to $2. And you're like, wow, is this common or uncommon? Really getting a lot of play? Like, what's going on? Is this a sign of things to come? And then you go look at the page for it, and no, the card is still 2 cents with $1.31 shipping. It's still just the same cheap price it's always been, even though the market price has algorithmically jumped. And as we went digging into this, I'm going to name 2 cards here that I found this on. Inspiring Overseer from Streets of New Capenna and Rimewood Falls from Kaldheim. The current market price on both of, on the Rimewood Falls is like $3. The market price on the Overseer isn't that. But both of these cards and others that we looked up have anomalous sales last week of $69.69, surrounded by 35 cents, 10 cents, 15 cents, 6 cents. So these are clearly some amount of fraudulent action or something going on here that has jacked with the algorithm enough that I'm seeing dozens of cards go through this fake spike. So just putting that information out there, like this sort of thing gets drowned out in the data over time. And honestly, I'm not even sure what could possibly be gained by paying $69.69 to like defraud a sale on Streets of New Capenna Common. But that is the data and things that you see when you scan cards is not always accurate. I actually discovered this with Pokemon cards recently, where I was looking at Pokemon cards and buying them. And the market price on Pokemon cards that are moving is not reflective at all of the current prices on Pokemon cards. So when a Pokemon card starts to spike, the market price lags like 2 weeks behind the card actual moving, the live listings to what the new price is. There's all just data quirks, I guess, that you should be aware of, because in the world we live in, where we see cards spike because the SEO of a particular printing puts it in an autofiller, this is just another wrinkle of that.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people having 40-cent cards in their TCG Player cart, and then they go to the final checkout process and the card gets changed to $70 or $80. So a tens of thousands times increase sometimes. And I've also noticed that certain Moxfield lists are not behaving correctly when shared. I was buying cards in Vegas all weekend a couple weeks ago, and sometimes I would upload a Moxfield list to ban, and the data would be incorrect because of Moxfield. One example was a Diabolic Intent from Brothers War got turned into a Planeshift one. And this is not an issue with ban itself, because I was able to like convert the file to a CSV file, upload the raw CSV, and it worked properly, and it translated the data. But there was something with how Moxfield was operating and sharing the data with whatever database it's connected to that was making the data not good. And so I ended up having to download it as a CSV, make sure the CSV is correct. Ban can work with URLs and CSVs, which is very nice. So the CSV was the safest way to do it and make sure there was nothing lost in translation on the database on Moxfield's end. But
yeah,
like
that
was a weird thing too.
On that
so
card.
I would, when using the tools to buy collections, it's really nice to format the data in such a way that you can minimize your risk. So like using Google Sheets or Excel and putting the data in a spreadsheet and then sorting it by price, or even if the CSV you're given doesn't have price, you can upload it through ban, get pricing, download the CSV, reformat it, re-upload it, and then you can sort by the value of like, okay, these are the 10 most expensive cards in this collection. Is the data good for these? Yeah. We don't care if the data is bad for the 1 cent cards or the 10 cent cards or the $2 cards.
Right.
We care if we're paying $500 for a Diabolic Intent that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So definitely check the data. I don't know what the issue is. I submitted the feedback to ban and asked them to check out what the Moxfield issue is, because I do think it's a Moxfield issue specifically. But yeah, there's some weirdness with data out there right now, especially with TCG Player and Moxfield is the summary.
Yeah. A lot to be aware of. Can you imagine DJ having this conversation when we started this podcast, or when you came on this podcast, even? Like, just we're having a conversation. We used to have conversations about how to value cards in trading when you're sitting. We used to share tips, not about spreadsheets, but about how to navigate interpersonal relations in a trade to get the most money. It's just
yeah, the industry grew up, and so did we.
Kind of funny to think about, right?
Yeah.
The days of trading fetch lands for refrigerators.
It was trading. It was like trading whatever the valuable vampires, Colostria Highborns, for whatever the liege is, the blue-green liege. Yes,
Creekwood Liege is the green-black one, though.
Yeah, green-black. Mirkwood Liege, I think, is the green-blue one, maybe. But anyway, that was my go-to back then, is I would always pick up lieges. Balefire lieges were worth so much money.
Deathbringer Liege.
Yes, and the buy list on those cards was great, and then I would turn all that into fetch lands. Anyway, we just come a long way from there. Now we're talking about the most efficient way to upload your CSVs when you go to a booth. It's just I'm glad we're keeping up with the times, and we're gonna help all of you keep up with the times. And you really are ahead of the times if you go to patreon.com/BSB and get access to our spreadsheets. But you want to stay ahead of the times either way, it's time for Pick of the Week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
I have one that Liz is either gonna love or call me an idiot for. I think it's the first one.
Okay.
I think I'm a smart cookie here. I'm kind of looking at all of them as a cycle of 5, but the elemental incarnations from Lorwyn, the multicolor ones, especially Wistfulness. Wistfulness is like $7 right now. It had a peak of 25 to 30 at early back in the winter. They've all really cooled off. I don't believe any of them are seeing super, super heavy play right now, but they're very, very powerful modal spells that are attempted to be fixed, air quotes, versions of the Modern Horizons 2 elementals, which are obviously broken, like Fury and Grief, not okay magic cards. But, like, we've seen fixed versions of things be problematic before.
Yep.
And I think Wistfulness and Trends, so like Emptiness, Deceit, whatever the red-white one's called.
Vibrance and Catharsis.
Yeah. I think these are all things you want to have play sets of now for your next 2.5, 3 years of Standard, because maybe you're not getting the ultra max value when you're tripling enter the battlefield triggers with Ephemerate, but like casting this for green, naturalizing something, and then using some standard flicker effect to have a 6/5 is still powerful. Like, we're still in a Standard where doing Overlord of the Duskmourn cheaty things is a thing you are allowed to do that is good, and getting your big dumb idiot into play that also has effects is powerful. So I want to look at all of the Lorwyn elementals, Wistfulness especially, because that one had the highest peak in its day. That's my pick.
One really important thing to note about these cards is they are gold cards, which means in Eternal formats they pitch to multiple different cards. I know that some of these see play in Modern Living End because they pitch to Force of Will, Force of Negation and Endurance. And
Wistfulness does, I think.
Yes. Deceit also, I believe, does too.
Yeah.
Also, all of these trigger up the Beanstalk for the Legacy gamers of the world.
Wistfulness was one of those cards we talked earlier about Standard evolving. It was massive. It was the card that basically we were in this world where maybe Is It Lessons is just going to be the dominant deck, and Wistfulness was the card that changed that at that PT by just giving people a way to interact with monuments that they could play in the main deck, and talents for that matter.
Yep.
All right, Liz, what are you looking at?
My pick of the week this week is a card that is very DJ coded. It's a card that got 2 reprints technically in Strixhaven. It was in both Commander and the Mystical Archive sheet, and it's dirt cheap now. It's Culling Ritual.
Oh, yeah. The black
Culling
green.
Ritual's basically a bulk rare. It's a black-green sorcery for 4 mana total. Destroy all non-land permanents with mana value 2 or less for each thing destroyed this way. Add a black or a green mana to your mana pool. CEDH staple. Card's just like basically a bulk rare now. Put 1,000 of them in a box and don't think about it for a while. I'm sure it'll get another reprint before it starts going up, but love when these sort of CEDH or even just Commander staples bottom out because they have 4 reprints in 6 months and then they get forgotten about by the development team for a year. And
that's right.
Very, very DJ pick.
Yes, big fan of Culling Ritual.
There's also, if you are want to go deep into the CDH side of things there, I guess. There's the Japanese Culling Ritual, like the alternate, like the actual best
Silver Scroll.
Like you could go in for those high-end versions if you're a big believer in the card as well. Because there are some pretty neat versions of that one out there. Okay, I'm going to go with a very... Oh, go ahead.
I didn't think I would like the Silver Scroll foils until I was in Vegas buying collections from people, and I kept seeing them, and I did follow DJ's advice. And if you're on YouTube right now, you can see me holding up a Silver Scroll foil ad nauseum for a little legacy action.
I picked I had a Flusterstorm come through the store, and I set it aside to hold on to on that advice.
So my pick of the week
Unfortunately-
2 to 3 weeks ago was kind of the Mystical Archive Silver Scrolls. I did end up putting my money where my mouth is. I spent around $3,500 on Card Market, which is the European version of TCG Player. They were very cheap over there for a while. I think it's settled enough to the point where most of the arbitrage is gone. But I managed to spend a good amount of money and pick up some Silver Scroll foils for the display case when I do shows later this year. So
They're just rare.
they're
That's
rare,
it.
they're pretty.
Gorgeous.
Like there's a lot of rare cards that are not pretty. These I think are both rare and very pretty.
There's
Yes.
very few listed. Like I just looked at the Flusterstorm. There's 1 page of listings for it for a brand new card, right? Like it's just scarce. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way. Like if you have them,
Right.
you should probably feel good about it because it's not like it's a high price while there's 35 listings. It's like, there's like 10 listings or whatever. Okay. Well, I'm looking at a very old card, and this is not my typical thing, but I'm looking at a graph, and I'm looking at a card that by 2 weeks from now, there will be no cheap copies of left. And that is the Urza Saga printing of Ill-Gotten Gains.
Yeah.
It's gone from this year, it's gone from about 3 to about 5. And then these past couple days, it's really taking off. So this is a really good one if you're on patreon.com/BSB to have access to those spreadsheets early, not to mention the episode early, to get in on Ill-Gotten Gains.
Is this card pre-modern legal? Oh, it is. That's dope.
It is. And that's why I'm sure that's why the original is starting to spike. The conspiracy version of it, the printing of it, which is $1, has also, for what it's worth this year, climbed from 50 cents to $1. If you wanted to go on the cheap end, but obviously pre-modern's blowing everything up.
Dark Ritual and Lion's Eye Diamond are pre-modern legal, which means you can do Iggy Pop stuff, right? Where you like loop.
You
Ill-Gotten
can. There's not like a
Gains.
payoff though.
There's got to be some. Like Brain Freeze is in the format, right?
I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
think
know
so.
anything about
Yeah, Brain
pre-modern,
Freeze isn't
to be
banned.
honest.
I'm looking at the ban list right now.
Okay.
That's
I feel like somebody would have
really
cracked
cool.
this already.
Well, that might be why it's spiking. I don't know enough
Right.
about pre-modern, but that is the pre-modern is making cards move, has been making cards move, and is making new cards move every week still.
Yep. Damn, Ill-Gotten Gains is such a sweet one. Good call on that, Corbin.
Yeah, thanks. As a courtesy of studying price charts. I was actually at dinner the other night working on a Pokemon article looking at price charts, and the waitress asked me what I was up to, and I had to explain. I'm writing blah blah, and she kept asking. I had to explain that I am writing a Pokemon article. Here is a spreadsheet. Here's an article. These are just Pokemon card prices. It's not fun. It's just work. I promise. But she thought it was so cool that I was writing about
Corbin
Pokemon.
complaining to a server that his work is hard and unfun.
No. It's not like that. What I'm saying is they thought it was
Yeah,
this
okay,
real
bud.
cool thing, and I'm just saying the reality is it's just spreadsheet work. It's
Corbin,
not
she's
like
serving you Buffalo Wild Wings. It is more fun than what you're doing.
we had a
you
fun
privileged
conversation. I
little-
don't mean it.
So
You're taking it fully wrong here, DJ.
two things. I linked an Iggy Pop list from MTGO in the voice text channel. This deck looks
Ooh.
really cool. It's playing Infernal Contract Recoup. It is a Brain Freeze deck. Pre-modern is so dope. Number 2.
Yeah, this is cool.
I've decided I'm making Outback Steakhouse a part of my personality, like B-Dubs is for Corbin. Dude, Outback Steakhouse, the value proposition on it is so good these days. It's
It's
like
always like
40
a 7.
Yeah,
Like, it's
I
consistent.
kinda
No
like
matter where
Outback.
you go, you can go to whichever
Yes.
one. Doesn't matter. It's
Yes.
it's not gonna be bad. It's not gonna be miserable. It's gonna be fine.
you get the pumpernickel
Fine plus.
bread. It's pretty tasty.
I agree.
It's only like twice as expensive as McDonald's, if that. It's like 45% more expensive than McDonald's. Like a McDonald's burger meal is like $16 now, or some totally absurd. bullcrap.
It is getting there. Chipotle costs me $14 or $15 for a burrito. Like
You can get the 6-ounce sirloin with a Caesar salad and a baked potato for like $22.
Outback is good. You can also get like grilled shrimp added for like under $10 kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
go
know,
get
and
Outback
it's-
right after this podcast.
I might have Outback tonight.
Outback, if you want to sponsor us, we will gladly go down under. Okay, we will happily do it.
Oh man, I have eaten Outback a few times when I'm at events.
It's nice.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
My pick of the week is Outback Steakhouse.
On that note, everybody, I think that just about wraps it up for us. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you to Ban, as always, for sponsoring us and for making our lives easier. And thank you to all of our patrons. You go to patreon.com/BSB. They get the episode early. They hang out with us in Discord. All kinds of great stuff. So thank you, everybody, for listening to Brainstorm Brewery. We'll see you next week.
Bye.